I'm having some big problems, some big performance problem with my SaaS, which I'm about to document and fix it right now in this video. And also give you 2 or 3 hints that I would call it code smells. These are kind of problems that would give you a hint that there is something fishy or you should something go deeper that way. So how big the problem it is. I have started with a monolith at the beginning of this video with my SaaS. Right now I have created a microservice because I need to distribute a little bit. I'm a huge fan of monolith. However, in this case, I have created a microservice, which is responsible to download files from internet. The files are downloaded via HTTP and they are huge files. I'm gonna document in a moment, but what you're seeing here, it's an out of memory given by the Linux server because I have hosted the entire SaaS in a Linux, and I get out of memory. I have here on this server 32 gigabytes, and since out of memory is here, I expect this process was consuming more than 20 gigabytes of RAM, maybe more. I'm gonna show you what's the current behavior. So I started this profile, and after 3 minutes, actually after 2 minutes and a half, I'm consuming 3.8 gigabytes. I'm gonna put right now in the screen another profiling session where in the 40 seconds, I was consuming 80 gigabytes. So the reason there is so much discrepancy is because the file size can vary a lot. When I get the out of memory cause, I was able to fix the problem, and I had files which are over 100 to 200 megabytes, and there are a lot of files. I'm going to show you right in a moment. I'm consuming a lot of memory. As you can see here, it is really not possible that the process to consume that much memory. Now let's jump to the code. This is the part where it's causing the memory leak. And what I'm doing, I'm just downloading a couple of files from internet. So here I can have up to 150 files, and I'm just figure out what are the missing files, and then I'm issuing a parallel for all the files. So here I can have maximum 160 tasks. All of them are started, but just 3 are concurrent. So there is a limit here to the HTTP level that no more than 3 files are downloaded at a given moment. And then what I'm doing, I'm just waiting for the first one to finish. I'm getting the index and I'm removing from the pending downloading. Here I'm keeping track of the files that are downloaded, like the metadata, the content, which is the file as a byte. I'm not doing anything else rather than saving on the disk. So this is not the problem. I'm going to tell you right in the moment that the problem is from here, from this given code. Just by my explanation, I invite you to put the video on pause and think a bit what could be the problem here. I'm going to tell you anyway. So what is the problem here is because of this array. I'm having a list of tasks with byte. Even if these are finished, when I'm having a large allocation of bytes, then I'm going to keep tracking in this list of all the files that have been downloaded. And if I have 100 files multiplied by 400 megabytes, imagine that I'm keeping track a lot of memory, so garbage collected cannot intervene. So this is definitely a memory leak here and a problem. Now, the first hint I'm going to give you is by looking to this signature. Do you see something strange here? Well, here, a task, a list, and a DTO, every time when you have a task, a list, and you are having this kind of method, you are returning the missing files, I do recommend to return and to replace this with an async enumerator. I'm gonna tell you also another benefit. So this is one of the first code smells. Now I'm gonna show you also the code, how it looks fixed. I have replaced async enumerator, and I'm replacing the task with an enumerator. And the way how it works is works just like an enumerator by alone, but you can do a wait inside of the method. Also, I have replaced the algorithm a little bit because I have seen from the network traffic that I'm saturating quite a bit the network. There is no point to download in parallel. Actually, you can gain a little bit of speed, maybe 20%, but you lose the memory allocation. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just taking all of the missing files sequentially, and I'm waiting and downloading here one by one. The rest of the algorithm just keep the same. And because I'm using IOWait enumerable, I can do yield return and yield break the same how I'm doing here. The big advantage here is that because I have here cases where I'm downloading 100 files, I can periodically save what I have in the database. And this is what I'm doing here. This is just a sample example. I'm doing IOWait for each. And if the new files, it's divided by 10, then I'm just going to issue a save here just to be in sync what I have on the disk, what I have tracked in the database as a metadata. So this is the first fix. Actually, the fix would resolve here to don't download in parallel. Now let's have a look to the method which downloads the actual file. It's a simple method. It's just making an HTTP request and it's reading as a stream. I'm getting the stream here, the direct stream, but I'm using a new memory stream. I'm copying inside the memory stream just because the decoding and the decrypting needs a byte array. And this is a method which I'm using the .NET. There is no way how you can use a stream directly. So I need this kind of allocation. This is the encoded file and I'm returning the decoded file. These are some classes from the system security cryptography, and there's no way to streamline and to use a stream. And because I'm doing that, I'm allocating here an array. So I'm doing an extra allocation, as you can see here. And because I'm not allocating all the files which I'm downloading concurrently one by one, I should have a little bit decrease in memory consumption. Now with this code modification, I'm going to issue again another profiling session and see what's the behavior right now. So I'm allocating again a bunch of memory, 2.6, 2.7, almost 3 gigabytes in 40 seconds, which is really a lot. So I'm decreasing a bit the memory consumption, the pressure on the GC, but I'm still allocating memory. And this is kind of normal. Now, the only way how you can fix this is basically replace the byte array and to use streams directly. This way, there is no need to allocate the byte array. You can read directly from the network stream while it's downloading. And in the same time, you are doing the decryption and encryption again, and you can actually return the stream decrypted. You are just allocating chunks of small byte arrays, and you don't have to download the entire file. And let's do that modification as well. Something like this. I am rewriting this method by using two methods. I'm deleting that static method which I had previously, and I'm using a library which allows streaming and decoding, which is called Bouncy Castle. What I'm doing, I'm just returning a new class if the file is encrypted, and I'm returning a simple class if it's not encrypted. And here, instead of returning the stream, I have created a new interface which is called iDisposable stream. What I'm doing here, in case the file is encrypted, I'm just allocating some classes from the bouncy stream, and I'm just returning the decoded stream again, exactly like I have told you previously. Now, one thing to remember, and actually I would like to give you the second tip. Always, when you have an HTTP response, don't forget the HTTP has to be disposed as well. So you have to put an using. Now, because I'm doing this decoding on the fly, it means I don't have to deallocate this HTTP from here. So that's the reason I'm just creating this wrapper class. I'm changing the ownership from here. I'm allocating internally some resources, which I'm going to leave later on to be disposed by the caller. So that's the reason I'm just passing HTTP response here. And as you can see in my content, I'm just disposing everything like the HTTP response, the parser resources, and the stream. And I'm doing the same for the HTTP stream in case this is not an encoded file. What's the behavior right now? I'm going to issue again a profiling session. And after 40 minutes, I am about to see 200. I have seen 250 in other profiling session, but it's going to be around that number. 400 maybe less, but garbage collector will start to intervene and the memory consumption will decrease. These 200 megabytes are consumed by the entity framework. There's no free gain. So you're using entity framework, but I'm losing in the memory allocation. Now, this is all I wanted to present. Let me know in the comment if you have learned something, if you have seen this useful, or you would like to see other type of content. I'm Daniel, and until next time, see you soon. Bye.